Well, the polls tell us I'm not the most popular guy in the country. I accept that. Doing what's right is not always doing what's popular.
Doing what's right's not always popular. How about just doing what's right, Dalton, like passing your illegal eco-taxes in a legal way so that they're not unconstitutional? Maybe that's too much to ask for. But Dalton McGuinty, who is seeking re-election and launched his Liberal platform today, has other ideas, and those include a special tax credit for employers to hire new immigrants. Been in the country a few years, born here, unemployed? Too bad. They're only looking to help one kind of people. John Robson joins me now. John, what do you make of this? It was leaked yesterday. It was leaked on Sunday. The Liberal platform officially came out today, but on the conference call that was somehow leaked as well, even Liberals were saying they were worried this could be seen as an affirmative action program.
Sorry, I had to get my teeth unlocked. I ground them so hard they jammed up. First of all, Dalton McGuinty, who is the most political animal in the game, to come out and say sometimes doing what's right isn't what's popular, as if he ever put what's popular out of his mind when considering how to approach an issue and talk about what's right. I mean, the infamous thing where he went after John Tory on denominational schools when his own wife worked in that system.
And he graduated from it, and his entire family has been involved in it. And I used to have a trustee who was a McGuinty. Preposterous,
outrageous, and absolutely partisan. And then he comes on, well, I'm the one who does what's right. And he's thinking, how do I look for the camera? Absolutely offensive. Then this business about hiring an immigrant. Why? Swing ridings, dear boy. There's no more to it than that. And think about this as an economic measure. As an employer, this is designed to make you favor a new immigrant over someone who immigrated a while ago or was born here. What public policy goal exists there?
Let's make that part clear. This is not for somebody who's been in the country 10 years. This is
recent immigrants.
This is recent immigrant. Give them a job. We'll give you $10,000.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're an employer, $10,000. This will only influence you if you've got a choice between two employees who both look good, but one of them, the one who's been here longer, looks less than $10,000 better. Otherwise, it won't change your hiring decision. If it happens that you're thinking about hiring a recent immigrant because they're the one for the job, you're just going to pocket the money. So a great deal of money goes down the drain on this one. It is designed to discriminate against the native-born and people who've been here a while making a contribution to society, which is an odd thing to want to do. Not that I'm against recent immigrants, but it's so clearly not designed with public policy in mind. It's clearly designed with partisan advantage, and it's unfair. What did the person who's been here 10 years do wrong? That they should actually, the government should pay somebody not to hire them, because that's what this is.
You say that it's about swing ridings. I'm trying to figure that out because Toronto's jobless rate isn't that good. Across the country, the national jobless rate, 7.2. Ontario's a little bit higher, 7.5. Toronto is 8.3 overall. And there's a lot of immigrants that settle in Toronto. But the hardest hit areas are not big immigrant magnets. London, Ontario, where it's just under 10%. Peterborough, where it's 11%. Barrie, where it's just shy of 9%. These areas are harder hit than anywhere else. You'd think you'd come up if he's going to have a job creation program. No, and I know you're not a fan of job creation programs from governments, but if you're going to come up with one, maybe try and give people jobs where they don't have them.
No, it's a vote creation program. He wants immigrants' votes. He wants new immigrants' votes. That's what this is about. It's not about the economy. It's not about patterns of unemployment. If Dalton McGuinty were concerned about unemployment, he would cut spending and taxes. He's not. He's concerned about votes. That is what drives the relentless expansion of government under Dalton McGuinty, and all the promises, new this, free that, you know, no new taxes, oh wait, it was a premium, all this hopping and dancing around. He's trying to find the best combination of goodies to make you vote for his party. Now, to be fair to him, so's everybody else. You get the Harper Tories with their incredible boutique of tax breaks for some people, forcing up the level of taxes on everybody else, but he thinks he's got it figured out so he can hit all the key groups. And Dalton McGuinty's very good at it too. And he's also just so oleaginous, my favorite words.
Okay, I don't even know that word.
It's just a long way of saying oily, but it's such an oily way of saying oily. About the whole thing, he's so smarmy and sanctimonious and premier dad about it. And he's so partisan, and yet he always has this I'm above the fray look on his face.
And he says he's for doing what's right, not what's popular. And another thing he comes out and says is that he's brought about labor peace. in the school system. And you remember what it was like, he says, before, and he points to Mike Harris and Bob Rae, the previous premiers, Conservative and NDP, and says, well, they had disharmony in the schools. He brought about peace. He's brought about peace by buying off the teachers' unions to such a degree that they're willing to spend $3 million. He has upped their salaries so much that the Ontario English Catholic teachers, just one of the teachers' unions, is spending $3 million on their own to fight for his re-election.
Yeah, and it's astounding. I was writing about this for The Chain, a piece that ran in various places at various times in the weekend. I looked at the 2001 budget. Spending in Ontario was just over $63 billion. Now it's $124. It hasn't quite doubled because there's been 20% inflation, but it's up by about 2/3. And one of the big places that's gone up is education. Yeah, was he buying better education? No. He was buying labor peace, union backing, Working Families Coalition, and help getting himself re-elected. Dalton McGuinty, some days I think he's so political he doesn't know he's political. Like a fish doesn't know it's in water. But the result of it is he is absolutely subordinating the public good to partisanship, and Ontario voters are rewarding him. They're saying, yes, we can be bought. Buy us, Dalton. And if we re-elect him, the message will be absolutely clear. You do what Tim Hudak's trying to do, you just do it better than Tim Hudak's doing it. You don't do what's right, because that's not the route to office. To say we have a fiscal problem that cannot be solved by more spending, enough tax perks to induce you to support our party, time to flatten taxes, cuts across the board, stand up to the public sector unions, and get the transition made that will save this province from the threat of fiscal disintegration.
Well, he's bought labor peace with the teachers' union so that they're backing him to the hilt with their money. There's the Ontario English Catholic teachers with their $3 million plan. Then there's the Working Families Coalition, which that teachers union and several others and nurses and other public sector unions have bought into. But he's annoying parents. And there's an article, column by Ron Corbett in the Ottawa Sun today that I posted on Facebook. So if you haven't seen it, I know you've seen it, but if you haven't seen it at home, go check it out. It's on the Facebook page, and we'll have it on the blog, Lilley's Pad, as well. And it's about how parents are having to figure out how to do different fundraising, because schools still have to do fundraising for extracurricular and other things. And in Ottawa, a popular thing was one day a week there'd be a pizza day. Well, new nutritional guidelines for schools say you can't have it unless it's a whole wheat pizza. That could probably get around. And they talked to a pizza maker who says, I'm not going to serve anybody that.
Yeah, and the problem is it's not just kids going, oh, yuck, whole wheat, though they might do that. He said, unless it's fresh out of the oven, whole wheat pizza is hard as a rock. He said kids don't want a whole wheat rock. And this is a classic thing of driving the kids away from the school cafeteria and into other food choices where the nanny state is less involved. And look, I'm not saying the food in the cafeteria is good. When I went to school in England years ago, they forced us to eat stuff you could barely tell what it was. Honestly, you sat by the trash. You could dispose of the vegetable every time they turned their backs. And if you didn't eat your vegetables, you couldn't have the dessert, which was so disgusting that wasn't even a threat. Yeah, kids should eat healthier. Parents would like schools to give kids healthier choices, but then the government gets involved and makes a botch of it, undercuts the fundraising. The whole education system should not be delivered by the state. Everybody just about who thinks about it sensibly knows this, but Premier Dad's not giving up this opportunity to make friends in the public sector who help him get re-elected. There's no chance of an honest discussion of government funding an education for every kid, but having it delivered by private schools who compete for parents' school vouchers. It's an idea that's more than half a century old now. Let the tax dollar follow the student where the parents want it instead of the kid being dragged where the state put the money in the first place. That would change the whole dynamic of debates about rocks in the cafeteria and everything else, phys ed that actually makes you healthy, kids that really learn stuff in school, all that stuff would end to political correctness and nonsense, but it's never going to happen while the politicians have an interest in those unions working for their re-election.
School choice? I'm confused now.
Yeah,
anyway.
Parental choice. Dalton, non-choice.
Yeah, we've talked to Patrick McCloskey about that, and I'm sure it's going to come up this week during our Making the Great segment. John, thanks for coming in. Tell us what you think about these and any other stories. Byline at sunmedia.ca, and of course, tell us what you think of school choice. Byline at sunmedia.ca. John, talk to you again soon. Don't go away. We're not done yet.